welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most shocking and tragic stories of young people who met their end in the most unexpected and foolish ways. We're talking about those hold my juice box moments that went seriously wrong. We've got 10 stories lined up, each one more unbelievable than the last. From risky selfies to dangerous internet challenges, these stories will make you question how some people made it this far in life. So buckle up, grab your snacks, and get ready to be shocked because you won't believe these tales. And hey, maybe we can all learn a thing or two about staying safe out there. Our first story takes us to a breathtaking cliff overlooking the ocean. Imagine, turquoise waters crashing against jagged rocks, the sun setting in the distance, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. It's the perfect spot for a selfie, right? Well, that's what 19-year-old Ashley thought. She was on vacation with her family, and she wanted that epic Instagram shot, the one that would make all her friends jealous. So Ashley climbed over the safety railing, inching closer to the edge, phone held high. Her mom even warned her, "Ashley, be careful, get back from there." But Ashley brushed it off, saying, "Mom, it's fine. One more step, and I'll have the perfect shot." But that one more step was one too many. The ground crumbled beneath her feet, and Ashley tumbled over the edge, her phone slipping from her grasp. The very last thing she saw was her phone, the screen displaying the selfie she was willing to risk it all for, falling alongside her. By the time rescuers reached her, it was too late. Ashley's quest for the perfect selfie had cost her everything. It's a tragic reminder that no picture is worth risking your life for. Next up, we're diving into the world of internet challenges where the pressure to go viral can sometimes cloud our judgment. We've all seen those crazy stunts online, people doing dangerous things for likes and shares. But this next story is a stark reminder that the internet can be a dangerous place. Meet 17-year-old Jake, a high school student who loved pulling pranks and posting them online. He was always up for a challenge, especially if it meant gaining more followers. One day, he stumbled across the cinnamon challenge, where people try to swallow a spoonful of cinnamon without water. It seemed harmless enough, right? Wrong. Jake gathered his friends, grabbed a spoon, and filmed himself attempting the challenge. He threw back a heaping spoonful of cinnamon, but instead of swallowing it down, he started choking. His friends laughed at first, thinking it was all part of the act. But as Jake's face turned red, then purple, they realized something was terribly wrong. Jake was choking, the cinnamon powder clogging his airways. By the time the ambulance arrived, Jake had passed out. He died a few days later in the hospital. A simple internet challenge, meant to be a harmless prank, had turned deadly. Chapter 3: Fireworks Frenzy. Our next story takes place on the 4th of July, a day for celebration, barbecues, and of course, fireworks. It's a time when families and friends come together to enjoy the summer weather, share delicious food, and marvel at the colorful displays lighting up the night sky. But for one family, the holiday took a tragic turn, reminding us that even seemingly harmless traditions can have devastating consequences. What started as a night of joy and excitement quickly turned into a nightmare that would haunt them forever. 16-year-old Michael was known for being a bit of a daredevil. He was the kind of kid who was always looking for the next thrill, the next adventure. His friends admired his fearless attitude, and he loved the attention it brought him. He loved the thrill of danger, the adrenaline rush that came with pushing the limits. Whether it was skateboarding down steep hills or trying out extreme sports, Michael was always up for a challenge. So, when the 4th of July rolled around, Michael couldn't wait to get his hands on some fireworks. The idea of creating his own spectacular show was too tempting to resist. He convinced his friends to pool their money and buy the biggest, loudest fireworks they could find. They spent the afternoon excitedly planning their display, imagining the awe and admiration they would receive from anyone who saw it. As the sun began to set, they gathered in a nearby field, ready to put on their own private fireworks display. The anticipation was palpable as they set up their fireworks, each one eager to see the sky light up with their handiwork. Michael, always the showman, decided to light multiple fireworks at once. He wanted to create a grand spectacle, something that would be remembered for years to come. He figured it would make for a more impressive show. The more fireworks, the bigger the bang, and the more spectacular the display. He lit the fuses, but instead of backing away, he held onto the fireworks for just a second too long. That split second of hesitation was all it took for disaster to strike. The fireworks exploded in his hands, sending shards of debris flying in all directions. The force of the explosion was immense, and the sound echoed through the night, a stark contrast to the earlier laughter and excitement. Michael's friends watched in horror as he collapsed to the ground, his hands mangled and bloody. The sight was gruesome, and the reality of the situation hit them like a ton of bricks. The sound of sirens filled the air as an ambulance rushed Michael to the hospital. The once festive atmosphere was now filled with panic and fear as everyone hoped and prayed for Michael's recovery, but the damage was too severe. Michael didn't make it. The loss was a devastating blow to his family and friends, a harsh reminder of the dangers that can come with even the most innocent of celebrations. Our next story takes us to the open road, where the need for speed can sometimes have deadly consequences. The thrill of the open road can be intoxicating, especially for young drivers who feel invincible. For 18-year-old Josh, cars weren't just a mode of transportation, they were a symbol of freedom, a way to break free from the mundane routines of everyday life. Driving was his escape, his way to feel alive and in control. One hot summer night, Josh and his friends were cruising around town, music blaring, windows down. They were young, invincible, or so they thought. The night was filled with laughter and the kind of carefree joy that only youth can bring. As they sped down a back road, the thrill of the speed and the night air made them feel unstoppable. Josh's friend Mark, who was driving, dared him to try car surfing. It was a dare that seemed harmless in the moment, a challenge to prove their bravery. Car surfing, for those who don't know, is the incredibly dangerous act of riding on the roof or hood of a moving vehicle. It's a stunt that has claimed many lives and caused countless injuries. Josh, never one to back down from a dare, jumped out of the sunroof and onto the roof of the car. The adrenaline rush was immediate, the wind in his hair and the thrill of the moment taking over. His friends cheered him on, their voices filled with excitement and encouragement, their laughter drowned out by the roar of the engine, the car speeding faster and faster. The wind whipped past Josh's face, a reminder of the speed and danger of what he was doing, but the thrill was short-lived. In a split second, the excitement turned to terror. As Mark sped up, Josh lost his balance and tumbled off the roof of the car. The moment of exhilaration turned into a nightmare. He hit the pavement with a sickening thud, the impact echoing in the night air. His body slid across the asphalt, the rough surface tearing at his skin and clothes. Mark slammed on the brakes, his heart pounding with fear and regret. The car screeched to a halt, the sound piercing the night. Josh's friends rushed to his side, their faces pale with shock and horror, their laughter replaced with panicked screams, the reality of the situation sinking in, but it was too late. The damage was done. Josh's injuries were too severe. The life they had been celebrating was slipping away before their eyes. He died before the ambulance could even arrive, a tragic end to what was supposed to be a night of fun and freedom. Chapter 5. The Last Text. Our final story today is a stark reminder that even the most everyday activities can turn deadly when we let distractions take over. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to forget how quickly things can go wrong when our attention is divided. We've all been there, stuck in traffic, bored, our phones buzzing with notifications. The temptation to check that message or see the latest social media update can be overwhelming, but this story is a tragic reminder that no text message, no social media update is worth risking your life for. The consequences of a momentary lapse in judgment can be devastating. 17-year-old Sarah was driving home from school one afternoon, her phone resting in the passenger seat. She was a responsible student, well-liked by her peers, and had a bright future ahead of her. She knew she shouldn't text and drive, but her best friend had just sent her a hilarious meme, and she couldn't resist replying. It seemed harmless enough, just a quick response to share a laugh. As she typed out a message, her eyes drifted from the road to her phone screen. In that brief moment, her focus was entirely on the text, not on the road ahead. She didn't even see the red light up ahead. The intersection was fast approaching, but Sarah's attention was elsewhere. The sound of screeching tires and shattering glass filled the air as a pickup truck slammed into the driver's side of Sarah's car. The impact was sudden and violent, leaving no time for either driver to react. Sarah's phone, still clutched in her hand, displayed the unfinished text, the words LOL, that's so funny, frozen on the screen. It was a haunting reminder of the moment that changed everything. Emergency responders arrived to find Sarah trapped in the wreckage, her injuries too severe to survive. Despite their best efforts, there was nothing they could do to save her. The driver of the pickup truck, who had been following all traffic laws, walked away with minor injuries. He was left to grapple with the emotional trauma of the accident, knowing he had done nothing wrong. Sarah's death was a senseless tragedy, a life cut short because of a single fatal distraction. Her family and friends were left to mourn the loss of a vibrant young woman whose potential would never be realized. This story serves as a powerful reminder to all of us. No message is worth a life. Stay focused, stay safe, and remember that some distractions can have irreversible consequences. These stories serve as a grim reminder of how fragile life can be, and the importance of making safe choices. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, to chase that perfect photo, to seek thrills and online fame, but we must always remember that our actions have consequences. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And most importantly, stay safe out there. Don't let these stories be a reflection of you.